A very common mistake GMAT aspirants make is that they practice everything every day. So they will practice sentence correction, critical reasoning, reading comprehension, and quant every single day or almost every single day. Why is it a mistake? To understand that, let me ask you a question. Let's say I'm a cricketer, and as a cricketer, I may have to face various kinds of bowling. I could have to face a Yorker, an in-swing, an outswing, a slow ball, an off-cutter, right? There are various kinds of balls I may have to face. I may have to face a googly, right? So different kinds of balls I may have to face when I'm batting. So let's say I'm doing net practice. So I'm practicing to become a better cricketer. So how should I practice? So should I do a mixed practice? Let's say one ball a googly, another ball an outswing, another ball an in-swing, another ball a Yorker. That is how I should practice. So I should always practice in a mixed way, because in the match, right, I don't know which ball is going to be of which type. If you think about it, generally it doesn't make a lot of sense to always practice in this way. Let's say if I'm weak with Yorkers, I cannot handle Yorkers with ease. I'm really struggling with handling Yorkers. Makes sense to do a lot of concentrated practice for Yorkers, right? It makes sense to devote probably hours and hours and days on just mastering my ability to handle Yorkers. And then I may move on to, let's say, in-swing or outswing. Of course, it may make sense to do mixed practice also, but mixed practice will come in later when I have mastered these balls individually. If I am not able to handle Yorker when I know that a Yorker is going to come, let's say I'm just doing dedicated practice for Yorkers, so I know that Yorker is going to come, but still I'm not able to handle it, then how am I expected to handle a Yorker when it comes unexpected? Right? So mixed practice makes a lot of sense when I have mastered individual balls. If I have not even mastered individual balls, it makes sense to do a lot of concentrated practice for each of those kinds of balls. Similarly is the case with GMAT prep. If you have mastered individual topics, critical reasoning, reading comprehension, number properties and all that, then it makes sense to do everything every day. Okay, but if you have not mastered these things, it makes sense to focus on one section at a time, master it, then move on to the next section. Of course, when you move on to the next section, you stay in touch with the previous section. Okay, for example, you have mastered a Yorker. Mastered means you have reached a reasonable degree of proficiency in Yorkers. Now, when you move on to, let's say, handling outswings, you sort of also devote some time to handling Yorkers every day. Okay, so that you don't lose that touch with handling Yorkers. So similarly, let's say you master CR, then move on to SC. So when you move on to SC, you also reserve some time every week for doing CR. Okay, so you still stay in touch with CR, so you don't lose touch with CR. But the first step is always do concentrated practice of CR. Okay, devote a lot of time or focus almost exclusively on CR before you move on to the next section. So the next section you move on to is, let's say, SC. So when you are doing SC, again, you are devoting almost all of your time to SC, but then you are devoting some time to CR also. So when you move on to RC, you are devoting a lot of time to RC, but you are also devoting some time to SC and CR. Okay, that is how I believe you should do. And if you think about it, that is how you should learn in any domain of life, whether you're learning cricket or any other sports or even music, right? If you think about it, if you're not comfortable with playing a particular string of notes, makes sense to do a lot of concentrated practice of those notes before you do a mixed practice. Does that make sense? Thank you.